Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's press conference with Commissioner Nikki Freed and JJ Holmes, a Seminole County high school student. As always, reporters on the line, please ensure that your cameras and microphones are turned off to allow our speakers to have the floor. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat box as we go along, or you can be recognized at the end by typing that you'd like to ask a question in the chat box. Commissioner Freed, you are free to open.
Thank you. And good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for tuning in today. I'm going to start today by providing first, obviously, a quick COVID update. As of yesterday, 15,985 Floridians were hospitalized with COVID. Over 91% of ICU beds in Florida are currently occupied, and over half of those are occupied by COVID patients. The Department of Health recorded 1,071 additional COVID deaths in their weekly situation report released Friday afternoon. That brings the total number of Floridians who have lost their lives to this virus to 40,766. Our hospitals and our healthcare workers are overwhelmed. We're hearing reports that pediatric and rural hospitals across the state are filling up and some already at capacity. And according to a survey by the Florida Hospital Association, 68% of Florida hospitals are expected to reach a critical staffing shortage this week. Governor, it is time that we issue a state of emergency. Our hospitals need this, our medical providers, our resources to our locals. It is past time. We're asking you again, Governor, we need to issue a state of emergency. There are federal resources that we can't access without a state of emergency being declared, like assistance from FEMA and the National Guard. This is crisis. There is no excuse to not ask for all the help that we can get. Also, an update on Tropical Storm Fred. We are obviously keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Fred today as it approaches the Panhandle. Please remember to practice COVID safety, like wearing a mask, if you have to evacuate your home because of the weather. And local electeds, please make masks and hand sanitizers available at hurricane shelters. The last thing we want to do is for people who are contracting or spreading COVID while they're trying to keep safe during these storms. Now, I'd like to introduce my special guest today. JJ Holmes is a 17-year-old and is starting 11th grade this year at Lake Mary High School. He has spoken out about how concerned he is to return to school and how he struggles to wear a mask because of a cerebral palsy. JJ speaks by typing on an iPad with his nose, so wearing a mask at school would make it hard for him to talk to everyone. Kids like JJ are being impacted by Governor DeSantis' rule banning mask requirements in schools, which has prompted some Florida parents of children with disabilities to sue the governor for violating the American with Disabilities Act. The lawsuit argues that by refusing to allow school districts to implement mask requirements, Governor DeSantis has placed an illegal barrier for students with disabilities that is preventing Florida's most vulnerable students from returning to public schools. I am so grateful to have JJ here with me today to talk about his experience and how he feels about returning to school. Thank you so much for being here with us today, JJ. The floor is yours.
And JJ, you may need to unmute your microphone before beginning.
Thank you, Commissioner Freed. Hi, my name is JJ and I'm a junior at Lake Mary High School. Go Rams. I have cerebral palsy and I'm in a wheelchair and I use a communication app on my iPad to talk. I type on the keyboard with my nose. I've been home since March 2020 and I want to go back to school, but I can't because Governor DeSantis has banned schools from implementing a mask mandate for all students. Last year was so hard, but I figured once we get a vaccine, things can start getting back to normal. But now Florida is dealing with Delta, and a governor who doesn't care about public safety. Governor DeSantis is taking away my rights so he can give more freedom to other people. And it doesn't even make any sense that Governor DeSantis says he's fighting for our freedom to not wear masks in school. Does the governor not know that at school, if you want to play football, you gotta wear a helmet? No freedom there. He's got to know that every single day at school, students are not allowed to wear certain clothes. And we don't have freedom to talk in school without raising our hand. We even need a pass from the teacher before we're allowed to go to the restroom. So yeah, school isn't really known for its freedoms. I'm scared about where Florida is heading, and I'm scared when I see Governor DeSantis laughing and saying, "How can I drink beer when I'm wearing a mask?" Floridians are dying, and he's joking about it, so I'm scared. Thank you for listening.
Wow, JJ, thank you for sharing your story. You are truly an inspiration to children all across the state. So thank you for speaking up for them and for yourself. And I cannot thank you enough again for being here. I want to just ask you a couple of questions. First, is there something you wish adults to understand better about how kids feel going back to school during the pandemic?
More. Hey.
Move it down a bit. Technical difficulties. Right. Is that enough? Okay. Plenty of time. Okay.
Not good.
Is that okay like that?
The biggest thing is most kids don't actually care if we've got to put a piece of cloth on our face. We just want to go to school. To be honest, a lot of kids feel like Governor DeSantis is just kind of using us. It's sad.
It definitely is sad, JJ. And what message do you have for people like Governor DeSantis who say just deal with it when it comes to the spread of the virus?
I don't understand what Governor DeSantis means by that. I have been dealing with it. When COVID struck and I had to do virtual school, I did deal with it. When I stayed home and isolated for the last 18 months because I can't wear a mask, I did deal with it. When I lost a lot of my new high school friends, I did deal with it. When I couldn't get my power chair because of COVID, I did deal with it. When my favorite comedian, who I've wanted to get tickets to see for over 5 years, postponed his Florida show because of COVID, I did deal with it. When my granny died, and I couldn't go to her funeral because of COVID, I did deal with it. I have been dealing with it, and now the governor says I need to give up more to deal with it. All I have left to give up is my education and my life.
Wow. Thank you, JJ. Know that there's a lot of people behind you who say just dealing with it that's not the option. That's not the cure here. And that we've got to fight for people like you and for all of the children that are in our school system and the people that have been dealing with it for the last year and a half. And we need leadership to finally prioritize the people of our state. So thank you, JJ, for being with me today and of course, sharing your story. And I guess, Franco, are we opening it up for questions now?
Yes, ma'am, we are. And reporters, again, if you have questions, please type them into the chat box or type that you'd like to be recognized to ask a question. Also, as JJ types his responses, please be patient as he uses the computer to type his response to you. The first, we actually have two questions coming from Laura Castles at Florida Phoenix. JJ, these questions are to you. The first question is, are your classmates at your school aware of this challenge with masks? And are they committing to wear masks to keep you safe? Or do you feel that you're on your own? And the second question, if you want to answer at the same time, is what are your favorite subjects in school and what are your aspirations?
What?
Hmm?
Uh,
What? One more time for the question. Could you repeat the question he's saying, or the questions?
Absolutely. 1 second. The question again from Laura Castles at Florida Phoenix is, are classmates at your school aware of the challenge of wearing masks? And are they committing to wear masks to keep you safe? Or do you feel that you're on your own? And then the second question, if you can answer, is what are your favorite subjects in school and what are your aspirations? We'll wait for your answer. Thank you, JJ.
I
Oh.
I feel like I'm on my own because you can opt out of wearing a mask. My favorite subjects in school is civics, and I'd like to study political science in college.
That's awesome. I did political science in college too, JJ. So look where it's gotten me. So you got huge future ahead of you.
Commissioner, I don't see any additional questions in the chat. So at this time, you're free to close.
Well, JJ, thank you again for being with me today. And thank you for being so brave and speaking out for what you think is right for school and for your friends and colleagues, and for everybody in the state of Florida who's watching. I know that some of you are tired of listening about COVID, and I know that some of you are tired of hearing the numbers and talking about it, but we're not through this yet. So I'm asking as a fellow Floridian, as a aunt of two amazing, a niece and a nephew of people for JJ, we live in a state that we live in a community. We have to respect one another. We have to care about each other's well-beings. We have to care about others. And so with that, I'm asking everybody to please do what is right for your family, for our children, for our communities. Please wear a mask, follow the CDC guidelines, social distance when you can, if you're inside, and please get the vaccines. Talk to people who have gotten sick, who didn't get the vaccine and now regret and wish that they had. There's going to be locations all across our state. If you're not feeling well, go get tested. There's even home testing at this point too. So we're making this very easy. But I'm asking you all to do your part to get us through this. The last thing we want is also seeing the trickle down impacts of our economy based on the irresponsible policies of our governor and our commissioner of education that are putting our children at risk. I mean, I'm getting reports every single day of the amount of kids throughout our entire school system and our entire state who are having to quarantine at home. So do it for them, do it for the future of our state. This is something that we need to be doing together. We're going to continue being a broken record and playing over and over again until we're past this pandemic. We're going to do things together. We're going to get tested. We're going to stay at home when we have to, and we're going to wear a mask when we're supposed to, and we're going to get the vaccine. We're in this together. It's the only way through this. Thank you again, JJ, and thank you for all the reporters who continuously continue to cover these types of stories and hearing from the people on the ground and our kids that are in the classrooms. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. That concludes today's press conference. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Again, a replay of today's press conference will be available on our Facebook page at facebook.com/FDAX. Reporters, if you have additional follow-up questions, please send them to comms@fdax.gov. Thank you and have a good day.
Thanks, JJ.